blockbuster round 34 in the Championship is complete. Here are my hot takes. Team of the round, Preston North End. I've been fairly dismissive of Preston North End's playoff prospects this season. They had an incredible start and topped the table after 7 games, but that start was made to look a bit of a flash in the pan by the relegation form they were in for the next 19 games. Only QPR and Rotherham scored fewer points over that period. It just felt to me that Preston's unsustainably hot start was padding their points total, and other teams in the top 6 mix were better placed to get themselves into the end of season knockouts. Right now, it feels like I'm as close to changing my mind on North End's chances of getting into the playoffs as I have been all season. Friday night's comfortable 3-0 win over fellow playoff chasers Coventry City felt like a bit of a stand up and take notice type result. Preston are now on a run of 4 wins in 5, and with 3 of those victories coming against Ipswich, Middlesbrough and now Coventry, perhaps they're peaking at the right time. The return of Emil Rees at the turn of the year combines him with 12-goal Will Keane and a more acclimatised Mads Frokjer Jensen. Behind them, North End have size, solidity and experience. This weekend went pretty much perfectly too, with every single other team between 4th and 13th failing to register a win. Perhaps I need to start being less dismissive of the possibility of a Preston playoff push. Loanee of the round, OMARI Hutchinson, Ipswich Town. Let's break from tradition and push the Loanee of the round further up the running order, as OMARI Hutchinson's run of delivering in big moments for Ipswich continued. Leeds' sensational run stretched to 9 victories on Friday night, making the equation simple for Ipswich and Southampton. Win and join an unlikely title race with Leicester closer than ever, or let Leeds sail off into the distance with them. Southampton slipped to a surprise defeat on Neil Harris's return to Millwall. 3 defeats in 4 for the Saints puts them 5 points behind the top 3 now as we approach the vital run-in. Meanwhile, Ipswich navigated their way to a 3-1 win over Birmingham to go level on points with Leeds in second and therefore 6 points behind Leicester at the top. In case the context is lost on you, here is your weekly reminder that Ipswich were in League One last season and are up against 3 gigantically powerful Year 1 parachute teams. In the wake of a 22-game unbeaten run by Southampton and 9-game winning streaks for Leicester and now Leeds, Ipswich are still right in the mix. The current star man is Chelsea Loanee OMARI Hutchinson, whose last gasp antics have earned a point for Town against West Brom, 3 against Rotherham, and secured this latest win over Birmingham. Their rivals have Premier League quality players to spare. Perhaps Ipswich's borrowed boy from Chelsea is proving himself to be in a similar bracket. Talking point of the round: bottom 6 insanity. I spend probably too much time reminding optimistic fans that the pace at the bottom of the table is slow, really slow. And the reason the hypothetical surge of points their struggling team needs isn't likely to come is the same reason their team is down at the bottom. Well, the tide is rising fast at the bottom of the table, and in unprecedented scenes, 4 of the bottom 6 won this weekend in the Championship. Huddersfield registered a first victory under Andre Brighton-Writer, with Danny Ward's double confirming a 2-1 win at Watford, and we've already mentioned Millwall's magnificent win at Southampton on Neil Harris's return. Despite a chaotic news week off the pitch, QPR exited the bottom 3 for the first time in what seems forever as they came from behind to grab a home win over bottom side Rotherham. Meanwhile, Sheffield Wednesday and their red-hot striker Ike Ugbo both continued their fantastic form. Wednesday scored a third win in 4, and Ugbo now has 5 goals in his last 4 games for the Owls. On the one hand, QPR and Wednesday fans will be cursing the fact that others around them also won to lessen the impact of their own good form. But on the other, they'll be pleased with the ever-growing number of teams they've pulled into the conversation, including the giant elephant in the room, Stoke City, who are not only bang out of form and confidence, but have now dropped into the bottom 3. Player of the round, Ryan Hardie, Plymouth. Given the chaos towards the bottom of the table, it shouldn't go unnoticed that Plymouth Argyle moved on to 40 points for the season with a tremendous away win up at Middlesbrough. History tells us that 45 points is normally enough to secure championship safety, but as we've already mentioned, this particular season, history might be irrelevant in terms of forecasting points needed for championship survival. With that being said, unless we get an atrocious collapse over the final 12 games, Plymouth look pretty well safe, and even below average form will see them over the line. There's much to admire about Argyle, who, after their fair share of structural issues, have been promoted twice in the previous 4 seasons. They've also overcome massive adversity this winter, with their manager Stephen Schumacher and some key loan players all doing a runner for pastures new. One of the constants for Plymouth is striker Ryan Hardie, who has taken the entire journey from League 2 and made the step up to the Championship beautifully. Hardie has scored 16 and 13 in his previous 2 seasons in League 1 and coolly stroked in his 12th of a maiden season in the 2nd tier as Argyle grabbed a second away win of a tricky season on the road. Hard-running, old-fashioned, central strikers are a rare breed in the Championship these days, and although wide man Morgan Whittaker will understandably be seen as Argyle's highest valued player, Hardie might be the most valuable.